Hello and welcome to this session today. Children, we have been learning about different life processes right from junior classes. Today, we are going to take up one life process in detail. We are going to talk about chapter number 10, Respiration. In respiration, we are going to understand what is the difference between respiration and breathing. We are going to understand the types of respiration, respiration in plants and animals, and the respiratory system in human beings. So, we all know that we take in food to give us energy. So, food equal to energy. But how is this energy taken out from the food that we eat? The food that we eat has to be burned. How is it burned? We all know that there is only one substance that supports burning. It is oxygen. So, in presence of oxygen, when this food is burned, it releases energy. And where does this oxygen come inside? The oxygen comes inside through the process of breathing. So, this becomes step 1. Step 1 is breathing. When you are inhaling oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. So, when you are just inhaling and exhaling gases, then how does this reaction take place? This reaction, where food is burnt in the presence of oxygen to release energy, is the second step, which is known as respiration. Very interestingly, breathing becomes external respiration. So, external respiration is also called breathing. Now, breathing involves taking in of gases, that is oxygen, through the process of inhalation and giving out of gases through the process of exhalation. And what do we give out? We give out carbon dioxide. This is the first step of external respiration, also called breathing. Now, the second step takes place inside the cell. That is the reason it is known as cellular respiration. So, this oxygen that we take in here, through the blood, it reaches all the cells of the body. And at these cells, there is a reaction that is taking place which helps to release energy, as you can see on the board. So, what is this reaction? Glucose, that is the food that we take in, it is broken down into simple substances. And what is this simple substance? It is glucose. It reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water and energy. So, this is the overall reaction of respiration. Interestingly, we can prove how oxygen is used up and carbon dioxide is given out in this process. This we can do through an activity that has been given in your book. Similarly, we can also prove that heat is involved in the process of respiration through another experiment, a very simple one which is given here. Now, children, there are two types of respiration. Just now, we studied about the steps of respiration. What are the steps? Step 1 is breathing, which is external respiration, and step 2 takes place inside the cell and it is called as cellular respiration. And we know that here oxygen is involved. So, in the respiration where oxygen is involved, it is known as aerobic respiration. So, the respiration that takes place inside you, inside me, is aerobic respiration because it involves oxygen. But what about microorganisms? There are many microorganisms which can carry out respiration minus oxygen, in the absence of oxygen. You must have seen how yeast is added to the dough of a cake. When you leave this cake dough for a long time, the yeast rises. Now, what does this yeast do? It does anaerobic respiration, which leads to the production of a lot of carbon dioxide that adds fluff to the batter. So, anaerobic respiration usually takes place in lower organisms. Now, coming to understanding the process of anaerobic respiration, this can also be done through an experiment given in your book. Now, children, we know that plants produce oxygen. Animals, human beings, they all use this oxygen to survive. Now, how about respiration in plants? Because we have understood in the previous pages that the byproduct of respiration is carbon dioxide. So, what happens inside the plants? Inside the plants, because plants also need energy to survive, that means plants are also using oxygen. Unless and until oxygen is combined with food, there will be no energy. And this reaction will give a byproduct, that is carbon dioxide. That means that plants not only give out oxygen, they also give out carbon dioxide. And where does oxygen come out from? Oxygen also comes out from stomata. So, where will carbon dioxide come out from? Carbon dioxide will also come out from the stomata only. Now, an interesting thing to understand here is the number of leaves in the plants is so many. That means the amount of oxygen that is produced is much more than the amount of carbon dioxide that is produced. That is how the respiration waste product, that is carbon dioxide in plants, is masked. Now, children, photosynthesis versus respiration. Photosynthesis, as we all know, takes place in the presence of sun. That means photosynthesis will take place in daytime, and respiration does not require the presence of sun. So, that means during the day, the amount of carbon dioxide is masked by the amount of oxygen that is produced. But what is happening at night? There is no oxygen being produced. There is only carbon dioxide that is produced. This is the reason why you are told not to sleep under a tree at night, because it is releasing more carbon dioxide. There is no other superstition related to that. Next, let's understand the process of respiration in animals. Let's begin with small animals, maybe an earthworm, maybe a frog, a fish, or a cricket. Let us understand how respiration takes place here through a video. Different animals respire from different parts of their body. In insects like grasshopper and cockroach, there is a network of thin air tubes called trachea that spread into the whole body. These air tubes have tiny openings called spiracles present on the side of their body. Oxygen enters the body through spiracles, goes into the trachea, diffuses into the body to reach each cell of the body. Oxygen is used to break down food to produce energy and carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide from the cells goes into the tracheal tubes and moves all of the body through the spiracles. Earthworms have a thin and moist skin. Gases pass into and out of the earthworm's body through their skin. Frogs breathe with the help of their lungs on land and with the help of their moist skin when in water. Fish breathe with the help of gills that are present on either side of their head. Fish take in water through their mouth and send it over the gills. The gills are well supplied with blood vessels. They extract oxygen dissolved in the water and send it to all parts of the body. The oxygen is utilized to produce energy from food and carbon dioxide is released. The carbon dioxide enters the blood and goes to the gills, from where it is expelled out into the surrounding water. So, having understood the respiration that takes place in these animals, let us now move to human beings. As we can see in this picture, the basic respiratory system of human beings is very, very simple. So, here what is happening? The first step is inhalation. Where are you inhaling your oxygen from? The nostrils. It travels down the trachea, reaches both the lungs. In the lungs, there are a multiple system of tubes that is present, which are known as bronchus, that divides into bronchioles, and bronchioles divide into alveoli here, as we can see. So alveoli is actually the site of exchange of gases. The blood comes through the alveoli. It takes away the oxygen and gives the carbon dioxide. To understand this process in detail, let us again watch a video. Breathing takes place with the help of the intercostal muscles between the ribs and the diaphragm. When we breathe in air, the intercostal muscles contract, the ribs are pushed upward and outward, and the diaphragm contracts and moves downwards. This increases the chest cavity and air rushes into the lungs and they expand. When we breathe air out, the intercostal muscles relax, the ribs move downwards and inwards, and the diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards to its original position. This decreases the space in the chest cavity and the air rushes out of the lungs. Take a transparent plastic bottle and get its base cut off. Make a hole in the center of the bottle's cap. Take a Y-shaped glass or plastic tube and attach two deflated balloons at its ends. Introduce this tube with the deflated bottom from the cut side of the bottle, passing the tube through the hole in the cap. Seal the cap airtight with the help of plasticine. So we have understood how inhalation and exhalation takes place and how alveoli becomes the point of exchange of gases inside the lungs. We have also done a simple experiment to understand the expansion and contraction of the diaphragm. So children, all these gases that go in and out of the body, they are only performing the function of releasing energy and purifying your body. So you take in oxygen and you release energy from the food. You give out carbon dioxide and you purify the blood. So the body has such a beautiful mechanism to maintain this balance. So I hope you have thoroughly understood and enjoyed the chapter, and now you're ready to attempt the questions at the back. Thank you.